going to be the Ashville Bulldogs here at Sparks Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, and I'm going to let these gentlemen introduce themselves at this time with a very special guest right over here to the far left.
Oh, I thought they were the special guests. So. Kevin Moore, graduate of Ashville High School and part of Ashville Athletics, where you can get all your information for Ashville High School Bulldogs.
My name is Travis Smith, and I'm starting outside linebacker.
My name is Brendan Bullock. I'm starting outside linebacker also.
All right, Kev, let's start with you actually, man, because you and I were standing beside each other during this game. First of all, atmosphere, very, very good for an opening game. Asheville traveled really, really well. Great game, great atmosphere. From your perspective, just take us back to last Friday night.
Well, first of all the mess we went through last year with the pandemic and everything, it was the first opening game of the season, obviously, but it was the first road game. And they almost had the stands packed on the other side, and on the visitor side, where Oak Grove maybe had a third of probably what we had. The energy was there. I thought it was a great game. The defense, we made some changes in the last 10, 11 months on the defensive side of the ball, and you could really tell it the other night because and I don't know how Oak Grove good they're going to be before the end of the year. But we got a lot of key stops. We stopped them on a couple of fourth downs, and they only broke maybe one or two big plays on us.
Oh, and they were throwing, and you guys are linebackers, and y'all can attest to this, they were throwing the kitchen sink at y'all. They were running bubbles, they were running inside game, they were running double handoffs, they were running jet sweeps, they were running screens. I mean, how did y'all keep up with that? Because it seemed like minus one play, you kept everything in front of you. We'll start right here.
Like, they like to mix it up a little bit. They like to use their quarterback and for the receivers to block us, and the quarterback just try to run and try to score.
Multiple quarterbacks, because they moved 8 and 1, they would rotate them in and out. Same question for you.
I think it was just a good preparation that we had in practice that had us doing well with that. We was ready for just about anything that they threw at us.
Talk about y'all's defensive staff, man. Y'all got some really, really good dudes over there. I mean, Coach Thompson especially, and then Coach Browning, I mean, amongst others. But just your defensive coaches in general, talk about how prepared they have you week in, week out.
Coach Thompson was definitely the one that made us most prepared out of all the coaches. With him being the defensive coordinator, I think he did a real good job with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with Brendan. Coach Thompson, he makes sure we're prepared and all that. Like during halftime, make sure we know everything. Ask us questions, what to do, and all that.
For those who don't know, last week I've been planning myself with you guys the whole day on Friday. So I went to eat with you guys, and then we drove to Oakman High School for the walkthrough, which was really awesome. And Coach Thompson said something that was amazing. He said, "I'm going to grade you guys this week." Y'all remember this?
Mm-hmm.
He said, "You're going to get 1 of 2 grades." And I'm thinking, well, they're either going to get an A or an F. He said, "Nope." He said, "What we're going to have, you're either going to get a hammer or you're going to get a nail. So either you're going to hit somebody or you're going to get hit." And he said, "That's your only options. So you tell me what you want to be. Are you the hammer this week or are you going to be the nail?" That was his thing he said.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Bro, everybody was like, yeah. Kev, from the outside looking in, and you're Asheville Athletics, so you know these guys about as well as anybody. Talk about that defensive unit and how salty they are.
Man, it was so awesome to see that the other night because there's been times over the last several years we give up 40, 50 points a game. Every other play, the other team's running down the sideline 50 yards. Didn't happen the other night, and I'm hoping that that's an improvement for things to come down in the future. And like I said, the intensity was there. I'm scared to death of Coach Thompson. When he on the sideline, right? When Oak Grove broke that long touchdown, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go sit in the stands because I was on the sideline. I was like, I don't want to be near him because he may make me run.
You know what's funny is he was sitting there screaming, scream about that time they run the screen and they win.
And but having him and I forget the guy.
Coach Lamb?
Yeah, from BB Comer. Having those two on staff, we got a great staff overall, but having those two have really just kind of that's going at the end of the season when we look back and how great a season or good a season we had. However it turns out, we're going to having these two guys on the defensive side of the ball was a great decision.
Football's a leverage sport, and you got the state champion coaches in wrestling on your defensive staff as well.
Vladimir is what I call him.
Vladimir, I love it. Now, offensively, I know you guys play any offense. Y'all just one way, right?
Mostly defense, but we play a little bit of offense.
Well, maybe y'all can attest because you're all a team at least. But offensively, man, they were just straight up, legitimately when the ball was snapped, their defensive 3 techniques was shooting across, kid. Let me tell you this. Buddy, shooting up, just making piles. That's all they were doing. They were shooting low, making piles.
They were getting a push. Coach Monroe showed me, he had an SS drone footage, and he was showing me the push from that drone. It was unbelievable, the push your offensive line was getting.
The defensive line was just shooting at their ankles, just creating these human piles. and they were saying, okay, if you're going to run into here and clog this up, we're just going to have piles of humans everywhere. That was their defense. In the second half, y'all start doing that quick pitch, they get right around.
Yeah.
And that's when they started dashing.
Talking about playing Austin. So I've seen this cat here. I think it was spring practice. They were scrimmaging. Talking about how good our defense is. He busted loose on an open run, and I think the coaches stopped it because he was about to going for a touchdown. So
I like it.
I remember that.
He can run out of the single wing. Him and Dylan, they look similar. They could be brothers, man.
I know it. So
I thought he was another Harris role.
hey, I don't know if Dylan can grow a goatee like this cat can.
But in Dylan's defense, I don't know if he can grow a mullet like Dylan had either.
That's true.
Dylan had a nice mullet.
I was worried when Dylan got that mullet cut. I thought like Sansom, cut his hair. I thought the season's about to go in the tank right here.
Yeah.
But
what's funny is Dylan, when he cut the mullet, I was talking to Shay. I was like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, what are you talking about? I said, dude, why is he cutting mullet? He's a dude, Ronnie Bass, and cut his off. And I was like,
He did say that. He did say that.
I know when I first saw it, I was like, who's the
that?
8-year-old we got at quarterback?
He looks different.
I know.
Hey, this week, man, Southeastern, you guys haven't got to break anything down on them yet, personally, or no?
No, sir, not really.
Just the coaches.
Yes, sir.
Last year's game was a tough game for y'all. Y'all, like we talked about out there, you guys had created 5 turnovers and so lost the football game. It had to be a salty taste in your mouth, man. I know y'all want to get some redemption for that. Talk about your mindset heading into this week versus Southeastern.
I think we got a lot better chance going in this week than we did last year, just because a bunch of us already have experience with the defense. I think it's going to be a pretty good game.
No doubt.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like since this ain't our first game, like we're not as much nervous because I feel like our first game always had was nervous, but I feel like coming into this game, no one's gonna be that nervous and we're gonna be ready to play.
Well, I don't want to break the story. I don't know if I can say this on air, but I'm saying this. When do we know the jersey combination of what we're wearing, or do y'all already?
For this week's game? No, so we don't know.
This is your first home game, right?
Does the seniors pick that out?
Yes, sir.
So there's a chance we could see these.
And for those that don't know, we've got new green jerseys to go along. Yeah, they are also to go along with these because these were alternate jerseys. But they're Mystique. They're I think they're 4-0, either 4-0 or 5-0 in these from last year.
Yeah.
And
I think
I think we're 4-0. So that debates up, with it. But my thing is, don't worry about what jersey you're wearing. If you go out there in overalls, you still got a job to do.
That's right. That's it. Kevin, you have been out there in overalls.
That's right.
Kevin, when will we get your predictions this week?
Well,
You can go head to head against his man, Namath. He works with Namath.
okay.
His name is producer.
Wow. Well, see, I decided a few years ago never to pick against, because I'm never going to pick against Ashville. If they're playing the University of Notre Dame, I'm never going to pick against them.
They
So,
actually have a chance.
yeah.
So,
So all I'm going to say is after last year's game, I can always say I can't say anything like the coaches have already told you, but y'all better be focused and take it one play at a time, and just eliminate mistakes, turnovers, penalties. Because I don't think we didn't have turnover. I don't think Friday night.
That is good.
And so that of course. Same thing happened last year. I don't think we turned the ball over and winning the Southeastern game and had 2 or 3 turnovers as opposed to their 5. So they're a well-coached team and they're going to be physical. So these guys are going to have to get at it.
Talking about Ken Logan, though. Ken Logan Stadium.
Yeah, Ken Logan Stadium.
That place is going to be electric.
Need a packed house for that. So
I think you're going to get it. The community's ready to see this. So good luck to you guys, man. Not only Friday, but moving forward this season. And it was a great time hanging out with you guys last week.
and this is the perfect schedule for us because each game it's like climbing that mountain. We got Oak Grove out of the way. Southeastern's just a little bit better team. The next, and I know coaches are looking ahead, but looking ahead, we've got Good Hope, and then Aniana, and then Etowah. I mean, which is probably the hardest game of the year. So each week it's getting harder, harder. So if we can get to the to the midseason break with a winning record, I think we're going to have a pretty good year. So, but it's all one game at a time. Southeasters don't think it matters this week.
I'm voting for the new green jerseys. That's just my vote. Let's get the new green jerseys out. We got to save these, man. Can't wear them every time.
Hey, we might save these for September 17th.
You got new white ones too.
Got any what?
White ones.
Yeah, that's right. They had new away jerseys for the other night. I called them the Stormtrooper jerseys. It was all white on white.
I like it. Pretty clean.
And I like that design with a stripe on the shoulder pad. So
They don't have Pinedale on the back like these.
that's right. So
All right, we're going to shut this one down. Looking forward to seeing you guys on again. Good luck. All right, our next guest on our call-in line, he needs no introduction. We call him the B-Man. B-Man from Fyffe, Alabama, the biggest Fyffe fan on the planet Earth. I do believe that without a shadow of a doubt. And also big-time sponsor. His wife is a big-time sponsor and has actually bought all of Fyffe's covers this year with us. B-Man, how are you doing?
Doing great, guys. How y'all
Doing
doing?
very good. B-Man, last week you were fortunate enough to make that trip to Isabella and watch Fyffe, in person. I know it's a unique situation in Isabella. They're under construction, and they actually took out their visiting side bleachers, so you guys had to make shift with half bleachers and then wrap chairs around. Talk about that experience before we get into the game a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit different down there. We got down there early, so we were able to get they roped off a little bit of their home side bleachers. So our bunch was able to get in there a little bit, but it was weird because you'd be cheering and then you'd look over and then they'd been cheering, So they were real friendly people, and we ended up having a real good time. Got to speak with a bunch of those people down there, and they was A+.
That's good, man. I love trips like that when there's a lot of respect. Matter of fact, I'm going to share a story about Coach. He said that one referee walked up to him. Have you heard this yet, D-Man?
No.
He said this referee walks up to him on the game before the game starts. He's like, "Man, I've always dreamed of calling one of your games, Coach. I have so much respect for you." Coach Benefield's like, "Hey, well, I appreciate that, man. Coach looked at it as a positive. This guy's a fan kind of, and he's getting to call on my game. Ain't that awesome, though? They got respect for that man all over the state like that."
No, absolutely. He's awesome. Tell him to stay down the bottom now, and he's put 5 on the mound.
Hey, he can't hide, can he?
No.
They're going to pick him out. All right, B-Man, let's dive into it. Now, I sat down with Coach, and we were up there in his office after we did Breakfast with Benefit and started breaking down some film. B-Man, I remember them being big last year, but, man, that nose, he was, I think he's 6'4", 375. The guy beside him.
He's on Saturdays right there.
Yeah. The 77. The guy beside him was around 6'3", 290. And then the other guy on the other side of him was about 265. Talk about what they looked like up front and the challenges they presented, especially early before they got tired.
We got down there watching them warm up. They definitely passed the eye test. At 77, he looked like somebody you could see on in the SEC.
Yeah.
And the rest of them were pretty good too. And he played tackle on offense, and he plays nose guard on defense. And like Brody Blackwell, he was a center for us. He could go about 180 pounds. He was lining up against him, so they definitely had a size advantage on us. But we were in I think a little bit better shape than them by the start, get toward halftime, and then you get into the third quarter. They were starting to wear down a little bit. Our guys, we was able to wear them down. They was bigger than us, but I think we was a little bit better shape and was able to kind of get to them there.
Now, Coach Benefield don't allow running at practice, so they just get to sit around and eat chocolate.
Cupcake, Kool-Aid.
That's right. As that game drew on, man, I looked at the stats there at the end of the game, and I mean, Fyffe outrushed them 247 yards to 14, and Coach said, there's some bad snaps on both sides that contributed to that, but Talk about how that running game started clicking, and Brody Hicks being back pretty much healthy now was a big part of that.
Oh man, Brody, he ran that ball well. He's looked like a man possessed. He was hitting people bouncing off of him, and
He's a handful, man.
Yeah, he is. As the year goes on, you're gonna have him and Logan. That'll be a good 1-2 punch for us, and then Dukes back there. He's kind of like a fullback playing a quarterback for us, but he had a couple good passes. He had one to Mulligan for a touchdown. Was close to hitting him there in the first quarter for a touchdown. It just barely went off his fingertips.
Man, Coach actually was bragging on Mulligan the other day about him going up high pointing the ball, how high up he's getting. And he said he's been asking him to go up for years. And he said that was the first game that he had seen him really go up and go after footballs like that, man. How much of a help would that be if you had emergence of him? He's not as big as Brody Dalton, but he's still very, very athletic and is really long and rangy.
Very athletic. I know one day we was up there watching him run, that first line, coach was challenging him to see who was fastest down there. There were sometimes he would be the first one down there with some of the backs. Real athletic guy.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah.
Man, he's put together too, man. He's gotten a lot more physically fit looking. He looks a lot more lean, a lot more muscle mass.
Yeah, there's not so fat on him. He's real lean. That touchdown he caught, it was contested. They both went up, and he went up and just whipped the defensive back and came down with it for that score.
Well, I mean, you do have, Dukes. He's in the ballpark of Tom Brady. They're very similar. I tell you what, he's got a better mustache than Tom Brady. I'll go out on and say that.
There ain't no question about that.
But no, let me ask you another question, B-Man. Let's talk about that defense a little bit. They were pretty stingy there. Very stingy, actually. Talk about their performance overall.
Oh, yeah, Isabella, they couldn't hardly get anything going on the ground. I was very pleased. The guys we lost off last year's team to have so far, against Mars Hill, that's a big-time name in high school football. And down to Isabella, especially the size difference, how big there was up front, how well we was able to get off blocks and find the running back. There wasn't many running lanes at all.
That's right.
And there in the fourth quarter, they kind of abandoned the run game, just started going to the air because it was tough sledding when they try to run the ball in him.
From what I've seen on film too, that quarterback was very elusive and athletic. Talk about him and how that defense was able to contain him. For the most part, he did get 100 yards passing, but you got to give up something when you got a guy who can run and throw like that guy.
Oh, he was very mobile. There's a lot of time we'd be back there, almost had him, he'd spin out, turn out, and keep going back. And he got away a lot. And he was able, throw the ball away or scramble and get something. If it had been just a classic drop back guy, there's no telling how many sacks we could have had on him. But
that's right.
He was very elusive. They had some skill players too. The pressure we got on him, with our line and linebackers, I think affected
Oh, yeah.
him not being able to get the ball to skill players because they had some receivers too.
No doubt. I mean, they had some really good ones last year when they played up here. But, I mean, they were at the point where they had to throw a pretty good bit last year, and Fyffe just kind of pinned their ears back and came after them. Well, B-Man, I know it's Sunday evening and we don't have a game this week, so Coach is going to just be working them out. But as always, man, we appreciate you coming on, man. You do a lot for us, you and Tara, and tell her we said hey and thank you for the sponsorship. And hope you guys got to enjoy breakfast with Benefield today.
I did just watch it a while ago. Loved it. It was a first class as usual.
Hey, did you see where he said he's going to try to call and see if Madden will add in what to do after safety?
Yeah. It's been years since we got safety on somebody.
Wasn't that awesome, dude? That's hilarious.
I loved it.
Well, B-Man, we will talk to you next week, my man, or have you in one.
All right, guys. Enjoy. Appreciate y'all guys.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. All right, we're in house here at Sparks Orthopedics with the Etowah Blue Devils, and I'm gonna let these gentlemen introduce themselves at this time, starting over here.
Bear Stevens. Michael Bostic, receiver, senior. Tyler Dobbs, linebacker, senior.
All right, guys. I know you guys put in a lot of work in the off season. I came up there and did the preseason video with you guys. You guys were really grinding last week. I know you didn't get the results you wanted, but what did you guys learn about yourselves last week from that game?
Just gotta do what we do better. Work harder.
Everything that we want is not always going to go our way. But one thing we can't do is fall down on each other. And if anything, we always got each other. Then we got to start shooting ourselves in the foot. The more we shoot ourselves in the foot, the more it's going to get harder and harder, especially with everybody playing both ways. We got to have the mentality to be able to go when our body says no and the mind says yes.
No doubt. Now, you guys, last year's game was similar. Score-wise.
Yes.
And then you guys went on to go to the semis.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's the mindset going into this week. This being Monday, and y'all went back and watched film. I know. What's your mindset from right now moving forward?
To get better, practice on our techniques is not as much as how we do it, but when we do it. And, it's just getting better. Like I said, the penalties really, really killed us. We had times that we could have got off the field defensive-wise, but personal fouls killed us, jumping off sides, things like that we got to work on. Until we do that, there's no getting better than going out there and practicing. You can't do nothing if you don't stop the penalties ahead, and you're just going to keep shooting yourself in the foot.
No doubt.
That game don't define us. We're at Etowah. We're going to get better from here. That's just first game. We got a whole lot more football to play, and we're going to get better as the season progresses.
We just gotta work more on the small things and work on us and not worry about the other teams.
No doubt. You can worry about yourselves.
Going into, say, either after the game or today's practice, especially you guys, Dobbs, you've been around, you're a senior. What was your message to the other guys? You were there last year. You guys saw what happened with the semifinals. I came to that game. What was your message to the guys after that?
You can't get yourself down. What the end result of that game is how it was supposed to be. It maybe could have been worse, but I told them before we even got off the field, before the clock hit 0, this don't define us. What we do now don't define us. It's about what we do come Monday would define the loss that we had. A team, you don't define a team by the loss. You define a team what they do the next week after a loss.
It's 100% right.
Told them to respond well, bounce back, stay positive, don't get down. As long as you keep a good attitude and stay positive, you'll be straight. Because negative energy don't mix with negative energy. Good, and if it's all negative, it's just gonna go downhill.
We just gotta bounce back and come back and show Aniana what Etowah football is about.
Right. This is nothing new to you guys. And all three of you were there last year. You saw what happened. So that's something you got these younger guys that they were there last year that maybe they didn't play as much. So it's something you carry into each practice every day just to work harder.
Exactly.
Now, what have you guys seen from Aniana? April and I went out and did a preseason video with them, and they seem to be, as always, pretty well coached. And got some guys out there that are really good-looking athletes. But to me now, last year, it seems like the second half of that Aniana game is when something clicked for Etowah, which carried you guys over the rest of your season. I could be wrong, but something was different in that second half. We'll start with Dobbs.
Aniana's going to be good. They're going to be hard-nosed. They're big country kids. We expect they have a tradition of winning the region. They got, if I'm mistaken, they got a couple state titles. You got to go in that week, and you just got to prepare yourself for a mental battle. It's going to be mental. That's all it's going to be about. And whoever can win the mental battle and continue going hard in the fourth quarter like you did in the first will be the victorious of that ball game.
Yeah.
I talked a little bit to Coach Smith. He said their offense is pretty good. He said their defense has a good secondary. But if we do what we're supposed to do, we should be able to come out on top. But he said as long as we play Etowah football and do what we're supposed to do, we should be pretty straight.
But like you said, they are very well coached.
Yeah,
That's about all.
The only team that can beat Etowah is Etowah. Shoot yourself in the foot, you can't win a ball game.
I got no guys over that linebacker they had plays HVAC for them too. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, big 44 committed to Troy.
Yeah, committed to
So they're just like us.
He
They
actually
play
bragged on y'all us a lot when we were out there about how y'all had some of the hardest hitting dudes that they play against. Yeah, he said they didn't like playing at all. But all right, so let me ask you guys a question. How mad did Coach Pierce get last week? He get That's my dude, man. I like asking that.
I heard him go across
Did you?
the field. Yeah, I said that's Coach Pierce.
That's my dude. Did you get him fired up?
Oh yeah, I got him fired.
I think Dobbs is the best at getting Coach Pierce.
Just about anything will fire Coach Pierce up.
I agree.
Just
Dobbs
about
has,
anything.
Dobbs has a special power. It's Coach Pierce.
I can do something. I can move an inch and he's mad.
It's love hate.
That's a love hate relationship.
Boy, that's love hate if I've ever seen it between them two. There need to be a documentary.
Dobbs.
We'll work on that.
Well,
Coach
Pierce.
Pierce. Coach P. and Dobbs.
We need to work on that.
Oh, hey, Coach P. and Dobbs on ESPN too.
Yeah, too.
Dude, that's awesome. Hey man, I appreciate you guys coming on. Make sure you guys get something to eat before you head out of here. Good luck, and hey, look, hopefully this thing will click like it did last year at this time, in that Aniana game when it clicked again, man, because you guys still have everything in front of you. You still have a state championship, the region championship, and more rivalries coming down the road.
Yeah.
Good luck, you guys.
Thank you.
All right, our next guest on the call-in show is going to be Coach Daryl Roach, new offensive coordinator for Center Point High School. Coach Roach got there right before their trip to Jacksonville State this year, and only had the guys, I think, 8 or 9 days before they actually had to go play a game. But Coach, first of all, how are you doing? And second of all, how's the guys been doing since you've had your hands on them in the spring?
The guys are doing really good. Thanks for asking, Bo. I think we've really got a good summer this year after the spring, and we've gotten a lot of good things in as far as installing a new offense. It's been working really hard, so I'm excited about playing this Thursday.
That's good, man. You and I were talking last week, and I seen that Winona game got canceled, and I was actually talking with you with Coach O, and man, what was the message to the guys? Because they're probably on this big high, ready to play, and then the next thing you know, you get that phone call and they had to cancel because of COVID. Man, how did y'all relay that message, and how did they accept it?
Oh yeah, it's bad when again, you're a high school kid, you're looking for that first game, and I think Bates did a really good job. Coach Bates, he's and our coaching staff were just basically trying to keep the kids positive. Basically we just told them, hey, one of the good things is we came out of this without any injury going into to play Fairfield. Basically stay positive and make sure we're wearing masks and doing the right things in school. That's our principal has done a really good job. Coach Bates, the school system. That's our main focus right now. Is just trying to stay safe and staying apart and all that good stuff. Make sure we're wearing masks and things of that nature.
Man, Coach, I wish we could snap our fingers and make it go away, but it ain't gonna happen. I don't look like.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Oh man, you ain't lying. My next question is, now you guys actually go on the road right here to play Fairfield. What have you seen from them? I know they didn't play last week, so you don't really have any actual regular season game footage on. But what do you know about those guys?
Well, I know they're super athletic. They've got a really good football team. They've got a couple of kids that signed. Number 3, number 2. They've got number 11. They've got a few seniors that a lot of speed. So it's going to be a challenging game for us. They're very talented. But again, I think our kids are excited. They're ready to play. So I think we're up for the challenge. And, excited to go play that game.
Coach, talk about your quarterback, man. I know just you and I have conversations away from, the camera, so to speak, but how his progressions has come along since you've had your hands on him, and he's kind of throwing the football like a little bit different person than he was when you first got your hands on him.
Jabari Collier, that's our quarterback. He'll be a junior this year. I think he's progressing really well. Learning, doing a lot of good things, and he is throwing the ball tremendously well right now for us. And I'm excited to see him, actually in competition to see what he can do versus Fairfield. But doing a tremendous job for us. Very pleased with him.
Coach, just from your standpoint, how awesome is it going to be to place somebody of a different jersey and a different color under an actual game that means something?
Oh coaching staff tonight. That's what we're talking about. Just how pumped up and excited our team and coaching staff is ready to play.
Man, that's great. And one last thing, Coach, before I let you go. Man, how awesome is it going to be to see full capacity crowds, man, for the first time in over a calendar year?
Yeah, that in itself is going to be great. We're fighting this COVID. So again, it's going to be new to me because last year I was coaching in Georgia, and then we were never full capacity in all the stadiums we were in. Big name stadiums, Cartersville, Georgia, and all that. So it was always half capacity. So it's going to be a big time thing to see that this year. I'm excited.
You ain't lying, Coach, and I appreciate you as always coming on. And we talked to you a couple times, and you and I are buddies outside of this thing, and that way I can get some inside scoop, but we will not share it on air.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Coach, good luck to you guys moving forward, and I'm sure at some point this week, Coach O and I will be talking to you, brother. Good luck.
All right, yes, sir. See you, Bob.
See you later, buddy.
All right.
All right, we're back at Sparks Orthopedic Sports Medicine with the Douglas Eagles. Let me say this one more time. The 1-0 Douglas Eagles. 1-0 Douglas Eagles. At this time, I'm going to let these gentlemen introduce themselves, name and position.
Jonathan Fontaine, junior at Douglas, play running back and linebacker. I'm Tanner Emerson, I'm a freshman. I play tight end and nose guard.
You say freshman?
You're a freshman.
He's a freshman.
Jesus.
Good Lord.
How old are you, man?
I'm 15, just turned 15 Saturday.
Look, he shook my hand. I thought he was going to break it. I mean, I give people firm handshakes, but this one, I'm like, hey, man, come on now. I got to rap with his hand.
Watch out feed this guy,
Whatever it is.
Everything.
man. Anything you get your hands on? Hey, first of all, let me comment on those jerseys. They look sick.
Yeah.
Who
Oh,
come
yeah,
up
we
with
got
that
our-
design?
We got our new uniforms.
Yeah, who come up with that?
Coach
design?
Lyles.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Dude, it looks like Nebraska. Really clean.
Yeah,
Really,
it does.
really good looking uniform.
Yeah.
All right, let's start. Let's talk last week. I mean, coming into that game, Weaver had a new coach, and I know y'all may have seen some of the things they did, like at the spring and some of that stuff, because they did play Coosa and Meek. But heading into that game, what did y'all see out of Weaver, and then how did y'all execute as well as y'all did?
Well, going into it, we had a little grudge on our shoulder because we had heard some comments from them. I ain't gonna mention those comments because it's not my place. But but Coach, gave us a little motivation. He was like, "Now it's y'all's place to set the tone." He goes, "Last year we started off 3-0. Went down on the record because we had that tough region play." He was like, "But I want to win." He's like, "And I know y'all want one too." He's like, "So let's go into this place." He's like, "Set the tone on the kickoff." And after the kickoff, we returned it back our side of the ball, like 55-yard line or 45-yard line. After that, it was coasting. Couldn't have said no better. What is chip on our shoulder?
There you go. Man, a few words. Let's
Yeah.
start right back over here. Being a freshman playing, man, what's that been like for you?
It's a little, change up between middle school and freshman. But other than that, I've been used to the game. I've been playing a game since I was, 8, 10. So.
As a freshman, I remember my nephew's first varsity game. He was a sophomore, and I after the game, I called him. I said, "Well, what was it like?" And all he could say was fast. Compared to middle school, JV, and all that, was there a big difference in pace in the way the game's played?
Yeah, it's a whole lot faster. It's going to take up more conditioning. And,
More intense, though, right?
yeah,
More fun.
very, very more fun.
Now, Mr. Fontaine, you have really worked out hard. I mean, we've seen several videos, not just the squat and the deadlift of 450 pounds, but several videos. Talk about your workout regimen, what you've been doing over this summer.
Over the summer of sophomore year, I worked on getting a lot stronger because freshman year I was tiny, like 135 pounds. Gained a lot of weight and muscle mass through going into sophomore year. And, I did fairly decent. Over this summer, I worked out and kept maintaining my strength, but also worked on my footwork too and reading gaps and cutting, getting better at that. And my opinion, I ain't going to boast or brag, I got to be humble, but with God's glory, I feel like I performed fairly decent in the first half against Weaver. That's pretty much all I played.
Did you play? You didn't play any really?
I played I played through the third quarter, and then after that it was freshman and JV playing.
He may take offense to you saying freshman.
Well, JV, that's why I put in that.
He looked at me and said, "Say what?"
He's not your prototypical freshman, though.
No, he's not.
No. What's
Let's call him a redshirt freshman. How about that?
Yeah, redshirt. He's literally a redshirt freshman. How big are you?
Well, I'm 6 foot, 236.
236. What all positions?
They tried me at end. I gotta learn those positions. I play nose guard, tight end. I went to fullback. Just gotta work in those plays. Gotta learn them.
You must have some speed on you playing some fullback.
I should know this. Was this home or away that you played Weaver?
Way.
It was away. What's your community like, your fan base, as far as the sports you guys did with those?
Well, my sophomore year, we didn't have very many come out, but for the Weaver game, we had a very decent crowd.
Really?
Filled up those away bleachers.
Well, I can tell you, on the basketball side, when they played Alexandria in the basketball playoffs, they packed that visitor side out over there, and I was like, wow. Douglas really came out and showed out.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting story about Jonathan on how we met Mr. Fontaine. Tell us the famous Alabama football player that you've become really good friends with, you and your family.
We haven't seen Blake since last summer when he came out and rode jet skis with us, because he went up. He's playing arena football up in Spokane, Washington. But he's been keeping in contact with me, and after the Weaver game, he called me and asked how I did. He said Mom had sent him some videos on the game, and he told me that he had seen I improved a whole lot on my footwork and reading the hole since sophomore year, and he's been keeping in close contact with us. And his younger brother Hunter actually just had his first kid Saturday.
We're talking about Blake Sims.
Yes, his younger brother Hunter had his first child Saturday.
How did you meet him? How did that come about?
I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and my mom had signed me up for a little football camp that was being put on mine. Well, I went to that. After that, like 2 weeks or a month or so after, I went to an AJ McCarron camp, and my mom became good friends with his younger brother. And then he was like, hey, y'all want to go eat with us? So we went out, we ate with him. And then on the way there, he called my mom. He's like, hey, is it okay if I bring my brother and his friend? She's like, who's that? And he was like, it's Blake Sims and Christian Jones. And my mom, of course, was like, yes, of course, that's fine.
That's how we met Mr. Fontaine. His mom shared that story about Blake on Facebook, and I saw it, and I was like, hey, we need to have him down with us. And
I remember coming on last year and kept in touch with him. Yeah. Now, you guys have Brindley Mountain coming up.
Yes, sir.
You watch film on those guys.
Yes, sir.
What do you have mindset heading into this week? Y'all can't get the big head after a big victory like that. Y'all got to stay level headed. We'll start right here.
I say they definitely got some size, but me doing offensive line, I think I'll have no problem with it.
Yeah.
On the line, no.
It ain't the same on Douglas no more.
No. And just like Tanner said, they got a lot of good size on their team with lineman wise, and they got some pretty decent speed in the defensive back. But I feel like if the line does their part like they did against Weaver, opens up the gaps, and the running backs perform like they did, and the receivers and all the skill does, and our defense stands out like they did, I feel like we'll have a decent win.
That's good.
Thank you, guys.
One more thing. Talk about some of the renovations and things y'all done, because your stadium, last time I was out there, last year actually, looks a lot nicer. Your weight room looks better. Talk about some of that things, because we haven't had you guys on since then. So what is it looking like up there now?
We just recently, our new superintendent, Cindy Wigley, had added some new speakers on the stadium to give us surround sound before the game with the music and all. We also, with our quarterback club raising money, we got the new uniforms last year, all Adidas. That's our new sponsor for football. We also have a little projector in the end zone so that we ain't got to put up the signs for our sponsors. They're going to go on the projector screen.
Awesome.
And
Now, you guys had a new building added on about, 2 years ago?
Yes, sir.
On your high school. What was that building for?
That was our history hall, because we had to expand to the high school because of how many students we had coming in.
That's right. Yeah, so it's still under, changing a lot.
Oh, yeah. A lot of stuff's changing.
Yeah, that's good, because I remember Douglas hit a low there for a while, and right before you guys got there, it was really bad, and now it's trending up. And, we seen you guys in the spring game, and then obviously the way y'all performed last week, we look for more of the same. But appreciate you guys making the trip down from Douglas, Alabama.
Tell you what, a game y'all need to come out and watch this year, the Glencoe game.
Where is it going to be here?
It's at Glencoe. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but old head coach Jameson Wiley's on the staff there now.
Yeah, we didn't know.
When is that game?
It's week.
Is it a non-region game?
It's a non-region game. It's after we play Gunnersville, so
week
week
9/24.
Yeah, 9:24.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that Lincoln.
I may be able to make that one.
At least come out for a
I
half.
should be able to. I should be
Oh
able
yeah, it's gonna be one of those games with a chip on our shoulder again.
I like it.
Hey, I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for making the drive down. Nice to meet you.
Thank y'all for having us.
See.
All right, our next guest is no stranger to Average Joe Sports Talk. One of the best well-known voices in the state of Alabama, especially in high school sports, calling the Super 7, and obviously there at Clay as the PA announcer for the Clay County. I don't know what to call you guys, Central Clay. I always want to say Central Clay, but Central Clay County. But none other than Tommy Wood. First of all, Tommy, how you been doing since I seen you last time in Jackson?
Man, doing great. Just summer kind of flew by, and we're just kind of getting everything started. The normal first week stuff on my end as far as public announcement. And I was able to do the Hanley Gunnersville game on Thursday of last week, so saw some pretty good football there. Then did the PA on Friday, so we're back in full swing.
Coach Strain and them has a machine over there, don't they?
They really do. And, going in, I was sitting there kind of, researching it and kind of comparing to last year. I thought, well, the offensive line could be a problem, because they replaced 4 out of 5 starters before they came out hitting on all cylinders. Man, they looked amazing for a first game. And to Coach Strain, I think you just got to talk about being overconfident, because that was a pretty good Gunnersville team that they played against, but they just they were unstoppable, especially in the first half.
Tommy, when I went and visited him over the summer, he and I were talking. He said he had 5 guys that squatted over 600 pounds. So I guess a few of those was those guys he rolled in there on that offensive line.
I was thinking about it. Tate Mattis went down with kind of a high ankle sprain in the second quarter, and then the next running back comes in. He injured his shoulder, so they were playing with really a third-team running back, and the quarterback that was the normal starter wasn't able to make the trip down there, so they were going with the backup quarterback, but defensively they looked really good. One of the big guys in the middle, I'm very impressed with him, and they've got a nose guard that I think he's down to 342. They said he lost like 40 pounds in the offseason, and I'm going to tell you, that guy wreaked havoc all night. There's no way that the offensive line for Gunnersville could, obviously see that in practice, but man, he looked really good, had good footwork, and I was very impressed with him.
He builds monsters down there in that weight room. I think I did the video down there. I think they got 24 racks in a full indoor facility with turf in it. So he builds those monsters down there.
Well, he knows how to make them work, and again, just a phenomenal coach. That Hanley program is one of those that it doesn't look like it's going to fall off anytime soon. That's a good looking group he's got down there for sure.
No doubt. And speaking of phenomenal coaches, that brings me to my next point. Coach Danny Horn started off this season again with a victory over y'all played Chilton County, correct?
Right, Chilton County, 34-7 was the final score there. So big win for the Volunteers.
And I've seen Elijah McNeil highlights from that game where he broke a couple of big plays. One, I believe, is a punter kick return he ran back. It's very long that Dexter posted. But talk about the game a little bit and some of the highlights and who needs to be spotlighted.
Well, I think, one thing that the offensive line showed that they're going to need some work. I mean, obviously, it's your first time for a lot of those guys to start. Again, you look at Central's line, that's one area that they've had concern with. And I think, obviously, they're going to get better. I mean, that's one of those that they had a tough night early going, and Chilton County played very well up front. So the offensive line was up, had some challenges, but they got better as the game went on, and I think that's going to be something that you're going to see throughout the year. But Elijah McNeil, once again, like you said, he has about a 60-something yard touchdown run where he broke a couple tackles in the hole and just outran everybody to the corner. And when Chilton County scored, they kicked it off, and I'll say Elijah's kickoff return was probably about 90 yards. And he just found a gap. And he had a lot of all-purpose yards and everything, but he earned what he got the other night. He had some tough runs, and he did that. Clay Yates, his first start at quarterback, I thought played very well. Had some very good passes downfield. Hit one deep to Chris Wenzel for a touchdown. And I think that some of the things that Clay, just the little things, overthrow here and there, those are things that he's going to iron out and just get with experience, and that's what's going to help him a lot. But those guys played really well. E.J. Simmons defensively, I think I called his name out on the PA system a lot. He played really well defensively. So those are some of the guys that really stood out to me. But like I said, there's a lot to work on, and I know Coach Horns got everything, got his hands full this week with Benjamin Russell, so I know they're gonna be practicing hard for the next few days and try to get those kinks worked out because they've got another big game coming up.
Now, let me ask you a question, man, just from the standpoint of you've been around this, you call games every week. How awesome was it to see those stands full again?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, it meant the world to me, and getting to do the PA, and that was one thing. Just hearing them and the anticipation leading up to kickoff. Chilton County brought a good crowd as well, so it just really was huge for me. My wife was working in the concession stand for the band. I think she said she'd walk about 10 miles, but it was a very busy night because there were so many people there, and again, just to see a lot of folks that you haven't seen in a couple of years because they weren't able to come to games last year, but to see them in the stands this time was absolutely huge, and just getting the feedback. When you're doing the PA, it's an immediate feedback. When you chant the first day bank first down, and you hear those people come back with it, it's a huge thing. So for a PA guy, and I'm sure for the players as well, it was just a big lift.
Man, and what do you know about Benjamin Russell yourself? I'm sure, I know last year, having Brody there, and by the way, how's he doing at Jacksonville State before we go any further?
Well, doing really well. He was told yesterday that he did make the 70-man traveling squad, so he is fighting for that number one long snapper spot. So it's a battle right now between him and the guy that's been there a while. So we'll see who gets the starting nod at UAB, but he will be traveling, so we're excited about that as a family. And got plenty of road trips this fall, so I'll be busy on Friday night with my daughter in the band, and Saturday wherever Brody is. So
That's awesome.
It's going to be busy. But yeah, seeing Benjamin Russell, they're always a good program. I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, Aubrey Blackwell as the coach, to me, is one of the top young coaches in the state of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with him last year, leading up to the Super 7, I had a chance to interview him and talk to him a couple of times and see what his program was like. And I'm very impressed with him. And we'll see, how quickly he can get Benjamin Russell up there where he feels like they deserve to be. He's got a lot of seniors this time to work with. Some friends of mine have seniors on the team, and I know they're excited about the new year. And to me, even though they fell to Huffman last week by 2, I know what Bill Smith has at Huffman, and that's a pretty doggone good program as well. So
oh man, great job.
That told me something right there that they're going to be tough. And the one thing that I've been able to take away after talking to some of the people at the game was Benjamin Russell never quit in that ball game. They fought to the bitter end, and that's good to see when you've had a program that's been down a couple of years. That tells me that Benjamin Russell's going to be pretty doggone good Friday night, and they're going to fight.
Yeah, man, he's done a phenomenal job at Huffman, and you're right, man, for them to play them tight like that, and it's a lot of coachable and teachable moments for those kids, which he'll get their attention this week, and you know what he's going to be saying. Here comes Goliath. We're going to be David, and we have nothing to lose, and we're not going to quit, and it's going to be all that. You're right about that.
It's going to be a big ball game, and again, we're going to see how well this Clay Central offensive line can get things going in the right direction. A lot of pressure there, and I just think that you make the greatest improvements between week 1 and 2. And I've always heard coaches say it's easier to rebound from get better after a win than a loss. So you take the win this week, but again, we're going to have to play well coming up Friday night because I know that Benjamin Russell wants to get that first win for their new coach. So they'll be at their place. So a lot of things, they will be very motivated for this game. They've not beaten Clay Central in a while either, so that's going to add to it.
That was my next point is you guys are going to hit the road. Some of these young guys, it's going to be their first start with the varsity, man. That's something you always worry about as a coaching staff is how these guys are going to obviously perform on the field as a starter, but when you go on the road early in the season, that's a different environment as well.
It really is, and I think that's some of these guys that have been around the program, that have played in those championship games, they're going to have to step up this week with their leadership roles. I mean, I look at the Elijah McNeils and E.J. Simmons and Brady Grice and Clay Yates and Chandler McClure and some of those guys that have been around this program for so long and have played a role in championship teams. I think that they're going to have to go, hey, this is how we're going to handle our business this week, and really, just take it to another level because each week is going to get tougher and tougher.
That's right. Tommy, I appreciate you, man. Good luck to you guys moving forward. Obviously, it's a huge game this week, and we'll be calling you back next Sunday evening.
Sounds good, man. Just let me know.
Thank you, sir. All right, we are in sports orthopedic and sports medicine Monday night preview show with the Southside Panthers, and I'm going to let these gentlemen introduce themselves at this time, starting with Coach, and then we'll kick it to his right and then back across his left.
Miles Hawken, head coach, Southside Panthers.
Maddox Parsons, running back. Jacob Davis, linebacker.
Coach, got a couple of questions to ask you right off the bat. The first one is, and just seeing the excitement from the video, Josh got to attend that from Average Joe's standpoint. I want you to talk about the atmosphere and what that was like for your first game at Barney Hood Stadium, and then talk about the overall game, what you liked, what you didn't like, and just kind of break it down in those kind of aspects.
I mean, the atmosphere was incredible. I mean, as soon as we came out of the locker room, I mean, there's people there. We're there for activation. We're going out, and there's people like setting up, their blankets in the bleachers, making sure that, they had a spot to sit. I mean, you can look, you can sit on tape. I mean, there's people parked back there in the end zone, like on that back road. There's people parked all the way on the other road. I mean, it was packed, When it come to the game, I thought effort-wise, I couldn't ask for a whole lot more from our kids. I mean, we played pretty relentless all night long. I mean, defensively, I think we had 78 plays, and when you look at it, there's really, I think you could go back and there was 2 plays that, I mean, obviously we gave up on defense. That was, probably because they were on the field for so long. I mean, when you're on the field for 78 plays, eventually, especially when you got a back like Lincoln's got, that kid's good. He's a good player. But we held up. They held up all night. Offensively, we did a couple things well. We had the ball. When you look at it, we didn't play to the level that I wanted us to play. I think that was pretty obvious. But the first drive, we got 2nd and 3 from the 24, like from the plus 24, and we get nothing out of it. Another time, we're down to the plus 35. 2 different times late in the game, we're inside the 10, and we get nothing out of either one of those drives, which is disappointing, but like I told our guys after the game was over, we got to teach it better as a coaching staff. When it comes to offense, I think we start 4 sophomores. Then we bring back 2 guys who started on our offense last year, and so we're young. And it's not an excuse. Ain't nobody going to feel sorry for us. I can tell you that. So we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. But as a coaching staff, we got to teach it better. And then we got to hold everybody to a higher standard. We got to match the level of intensity that our defense plays with, number one. And then we just got to execute. But I told them after the game was over, there's multiple times where we could have just folded up shop. We don't get the touchdown late in the game. So we turn it over. They've got the ball on like the minus 12. They pick up 4 on first down. And there's a minute 44 to play. And we got 1 timeout left. We could have folded up right there and been like, hey, game's over right here. But our defense gets a stop. We forced them to have to throw the ball on 3rd down so we can save our timeout. We pick up a big 21-yard gain right on first down. And so we give ourselves an opportunity to take a couple shots at the end zone, and it just, we just don't convert. But when you look at what we did, I told the kids, we're there, we're in position, we do some things right, but we're 1 or 2 guys away every snap when it comes to offensive football, And so we got to find a way to get those 1 or 2 guys on the same page with everybody else. And if we can do that, we got a chance to be pretty good.
Talk about the game from your perspective, both you guys. We'll start with Maddox.
It was a good game. Defense, like he said, played a heck of a game. They had 78 plays, and they did make 2 big runs. But when you're out there 78 plays, that's a tough task to ask for. Because I played defense last year, and we weren't out there. I don't think one game that many plays. So offense, just got to pick it up really. And then, like he said, there was a bunch of plays that we missed that we had some opportunities in, and we just got to execute. It was our first game, not as an excuse, but I'd rather make the mistakes in the first game than the later on and on the 8th game and a region game. So
it cost you a playoff first.
So.
The game, from my perspective, their offense was super stout. Lincoln's a great team, first off. But, there was a few plays, big plays that we gave up. I know we gave up those 2 big runs. Early in the game, they threw a deep ball, connected on it.
we were really good about getting turnovers, though. We managed to get 2 picks and a punt block, which isn't that average, you know.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you got 2 picks for a punt block, and I believe y'all held them to 2-12 on third down, something like that.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's pretty impressive right there. I mean, really, because like you said, it ain't like y'all playing the Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah, ain't no doubt. I mean, well, you know, you look at it, and the problem is, like, you get 2 picks, you block a punt, and you hold them to 134 yards of offense, and you lose the game. Like, that's frustrating stat. I mean, that's frustrating for our defense. You know, I mean, typically, you block a punt, and you get 2 turnovers. Like, you win the turnover battle, and you block a punt. Most of the time, you win the game. You know, and so I thought that our special teams play is pretty good. I mean, you look at it. I mean, our dang attack. We got our kickoff team is called attack. Like, attack was good all night. Our punt team was good all night. Like, our punt cover team was really good. Score, obviously, Jacob blocks a punt down there on score, sets us up for the touchdown. Yeah, you know, and so you look, you go back, and that's this thing that's a little frustrating as a coach is you do all these things well, and it don't turn out for you, you know. And so it was great tape to watch. It was great tape to watch and learn from, you know, because when it comes to effort, and you can't coach effort, and luckily we don't have to. So all we got to do now is go execute.
Max, you do any of that Ironhead Hayward impersonation? You get to run anybody over?
Yeah, he tried to. Like, that's the problem. Yeah, he tries to. That's the
Let's
problem.
talk about that opening kickoff, Maddox.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
About the opening kickoff. Oh,
Did you try to truck somebody?
No, he did.
He did truck somebody.
Yeah, he did.
I like it. I told you he's Ironhead. You even know who Ironhead Hayward is. You ain't clue, does it?
no, that's
He was a tone setter. We'll give him that. There ain't no doubt about it.
Google Ironhead Hayward when you leave here. You're going to die. Coach, now, out of the frying pan into the oven, because now it's a county rivalry that really, and I mean, you call it what it is. A lot of Southside fans will say Etowah's the biggest rival, but there's a lot of old school Southside fans that will tell you 100% it's Host Bluff. Now it's, you know, put the women and children to bed, so to speak, game coming up if you've seen the movie The Program. So talk about this week, how intense it is and what you've seen from those guys.
Well, you know, I mean, when you go back and watch last year's tape, it was muddy, of course. And then, of course, it's, you know, it's supposed to rain Thursday night, too. I mean, you can't get any better, right? I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. You know, but
You're right, it was a mud pit last year.
it was. I mean, it was a disaster last year. But, I mean, they're a really, really well-coached football team. Like, they're going to do what they do, you know. And I think one thing that I respect about their program is, like, they don't really worry about anybody else. Like, they're going to do them, and they believe that what they do is good enough, you know, and I respect that. Like, I really do. I respect it a lot. Like, we talk to our guys all the time about, let's just focus on us. And if we do us really well, we ain't really worried about what anybody else does. And they do that pretty consistently. It's a quick turnaround, so not ideal, but it's at the same time, like we told our guys, like, the opportunity to get that bad taste out of your mouth pretty quick. Like, it happens pretty fast. Like, so it's on Thursday now, so you get an extra, you know, you get a chance to kind of go ahead and get that bad taste out of your mouth there one day ahead. But, you know, I mean, we're going to have our hands full with them. You know, they're going to try to shorten the game and kind of run ISO, and then they're going to, you know, probably run ISO, and then they're probably going to run ISO, and then they're going to run waggle. And then, you know, and they're going to go ISO again. They're going to try to hammer you, you know, because that's what they do, and they're good at it. You know, I mean, you ain't got to have, when you're good at what you do, you got to have a bunch of plays now. You know, like,
coaches watch some tape, right?
You know, like they do what they do. You know, and so they're gonna play that 404 front, that bear, and they're gonna drop one. And I mean, that's what they do. I mean, they're good at it. And their kids know what to do. When you know what to do, it don't matter. Like, you just play fast. You ain't gotta think. You just play.
What's funny is most of the guys that's playing's dad played under the same coach in the same system in the same city.
Well, listen, you know, like guys like Coach and then like Coach Benefield, they have this awesome opportunity where, like, they ain't got to worry about it. Like, these guys knew what to expect when they got there because they coached those guys' dads, and so their dads explained to them, hey, when you get there, this is what's expected of you. All right, and this is the level of expectation. It's the standard we're going to play at, and you better play this way. You know, and so that's awesome because it's rare in high school football to find that these days. It really is.
You got to create that Southside, my man.
That's the plan. You know, that's the plan.
Man, accept out with that or what?
Hey, yeah, ain't no doubt. Yeah, exactly. That's the plan, right? It's got to start somewhere.
Y'all two cats have got to be the bricks and the foundation to build this thing.
I know.
Hey, talk about this game. I know we're running out of time. We have to put everybody on time, but real quick from a player standpoint, talk about this game and what it means to you. Y'all was in that last year's gut-wrenching win. Talk about it a little bit.
It's a big game for me because last year I didn't get to play. I had an ankle injury, so I missed that game. And the year before that, we got beat. The year before that, we got beat. Both were blowouts. So it's a big game for me. It's my third game playing them, and the other two games we lost. So it's a big game for me. They're a good team. They're well coached, and they're just gonna hammer it. And, like, we got to do something about it, and we got to offense is definitely got to do something this week for sure.
You got that iron head instead.
Oh yeah, you know what they're gonna run. Everybody does. You call it out, they're still probably going to get 10 yards on you sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just going to be consistent mental toughness, physical toughness. You have to meet their intensity. Mm-hmm. You have to meet them at the line, meet them through the hole. Just play your game.
Flat back and low.
Yeah. Play that smash mouth football.
Flat back and low and phone booth football.
I gotta say, man, I was impressed. Your defense, you guys are very physical.
Yeah, I feel like, to me, listen, give Lincoln credit because them suckers are physical too now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it was a physical game. Like down there on the field, there was some collisions going on. Needless to say, I got kicked in the leg twice and attacked on the sideline. I'm still hurting.
For the record, if you need some rehab, all your
Hey, I appreciate you guys coming on, Coach. Make sure you guys eat and get a T-shirt before you get out of here. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next person on our call-in line is going to be Coach Matt Glover, defensive coordinator at Clay-Chalkville High School. Coach Glover, good to have you on, man. How you been doing?
Doing good. Just got home a little while ago. So the house, I enjoyed a little downtime.
That's awesome. I know on Sundays, that's your decompress day. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I definitely want to check in with you. You guys had a 40-0 shutout last week over Shades Valley, and a shutout in which you only gave up 38 yards total, I believe. Take us back to last Friday night and how that all transpired.
It was really worried going into the game. Not so much about our opponent, more about how we were going to play, because we didn't do a spring or have a spring game. So the last time our kids played a football game was, November of last year against Mount Brook, and you're a little rusty coming out. The game didn't know how. We had some key contributors that were gone, and so very pleased with our kids' performance and the way they played. And I think we only had like 4 penalties, so that was really good.
That is good.
I thought that was, for a first game, probably the way we performed, I thought it was as good as we could ask for as coaches.
Coach, let me ask you a question, man. When you start, like you just said, you didn't know how these guys were going to react, but to have those guys go out there and pitch a shutout, but not only a shutout, a very dominant one, when you don't even give up 50 yards, how does that make you feel? And it's going to be kind of hard to say, we still got a lot of things to work on after a performance like that.
Well, as a coach, everybody, you always got something to work on.
That's right.
I thought our guys, he did it very well, and I thought what I was pleased with them is the way they made adjustments during the week on stuff we had messed up and they fixed. And so when you get kids to do that and fix it, you got a special group. Just today, we were watching film coaches at the field house, and one of my starting safeties texted me, and the first time, and he's going to be a senior, texting me about the team we're playing next week and talking about what they run, and basically telling me what we need to do. So I think you kind of, when you get kids doing that, they're bought in and they're wanting to win. So as a coach, it makes your job a lot easier.
Oh, no doubt. Coach, who were some of the guys that really stepped up for your side of the ball that when the lights came on, they were there, and when the smoke cleared?
I think Jaden Sweeney, starting senior safety, really had a good game. Had some young guys. We had some freshmen that had never played varsity snap. Randall Cole, little freshman D lineman, got probably 15, 16 snaps. Played really well. DJ Barber, inside linebacker,
100%.
As a unit, I thought we tackled well. I thought we pursued the ball well. So.
Now, you guys have Hueytown coming up next.
Yes.
That's going to be another home game. Talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, they're explosive football team. I think they beat Minor this past week, like 54-17.
Yes.
Punt in the game.
It was 57-14, but right on.
Yeah, so they're well coached, got some good football players. It's gonna be a challenge for us. They got some confidence coming in. Just beat the Minor team really. So we got our work cut out for us to make sure that we don't get the big head. I tell our guys all the time that the same ones are patting me in the back will be the same ones stabbing the back next week. So you can't get a big head and think you're even as coaches.
That's right.
I think a lot of times coaches do the same thing. We just had a big win, did all this, and you think and you kind of get humbled the next week. So we just got to make sure we keep an even keel and just keep doing what we got to do.
That's right. Hey, Coach, best of luck to you guys next week against Hueytown. And, they look pretty good, no joke. And Minor's not no pushover. And to beat them like that, that's something special. Coach, good luck to you. I know playing at home is going to be fun for you guys. And you got anything else you'd like to say? You're welcome to the floor now.
Like I said, appreciate what y'all do for high school football, man. I can't say it enough. The media in the Birmingham area is gone to covering high school football, is gone to crap. So I'm glad, wish y'all were down in the Birmingham area more, but just appreciate what y'all do to get kids some exposure and the great sport we play some exposure. So.
Well, Coach, I'm going to be honest with you. There is a huge plan getting put into place right now by this time next year that should be rolled out, and it definitely has Birmingham in our crosshairs. That's where it's going to start from. So I'll leave it at that for this time.
I hope that you could depend on the people around. Well, let me change that. We got some good local guys that cover our sports, but in general, I have seen a big drop in sports in coverage in this area, central Birmingham area, in the last since I've been coaching. So.
Oh yeah.
But I appreciate what y'all do, bro.
Coach, man, great talking to you as always, and I'll be catching up with you. Good luck.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, guys, we're here at Sparks Orthopedic with the Gadsden City Titans, coming off a huge 34-0 win over rival Etowah. Guys, let's talk about coming into that game. What was y'all's mindset coming into that game?
I'd say our mindset was to start off a great season, and it was a good competition. So I say we just preparing for the year.
Yeah, I say just setting the tone for a great season and just like setting the mindset to be physical, and that's what we want to do and be aggressive.
You know what? Back to what Graham said, just wanna start the season out right, set the tone. Just wanna have a good year this year.
Good deal. And I forgot to let y'all introduce yourselves, so start right here with you, Tay. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Tay Wright, DB, senior.
Devontae Graham, linebacker, senior.
Khalil Hughley, wide receiver. Junior year.
All right. Now I know Khalil and Tay, both of you guys transferred in from Etowah. Tay, I saw your eyes at the coin toss. You came out as a captain. But tell me how it felt for you guys to play against your old team.
It was a great experience. Just going out to competing, it was just fun, for real.
Great guys over there. Made a lot of friendships over there. But, at the end of the day, when it's time to compete, it's just time to compete,
Yeah. I know I've talked to Coach Smith, and we've interviewed some other guys, and they have been talking about one of the main things they talked about is pretty much finishing and taking it one game at a time. The Etowah game is past us now. You got Fort Payne coming up next on the schedule. Very solid 6A team. They lost by 1 point to another very good team last week. What have you guys seen from Etowah? From Fort Payne on film leading to this week? Start right here with Khalil.
It's just a. Could you ask a question again?
Yeah. I know Coach Smith and some of the seniors that we've talked to so far, they've been talking about taking everything one game at a time. Etowah game is fast. It was a huge win. You got Fort Payne coming up this week. Talk about some of the things you guys have seen from Fort Payne on film.
It's just the small things, how they line up, how the DBs line up, how they're gonna try to, how they're gonna try to hold the box for CJ. Just small things, just like small things like that.
They worried about CJ. Y'all got a cool hand Luke at quarterback.
As far as from the offensive side, they're really hard-nosed, physical, and I feel like we can match that, if not do better than that. And it's just real good competition. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll say from the defensive side, the quarterback, he's a left-handed, so that'll be new for us. And they got some bigger receivers, so we got to be more physical than last week.
I don't think those receivers want to go up against you, Rodney, back there. Talking about last week, let's go back to last week for one thing. That play you made right before halftime. Talk to us about that play, man. I mean, you jumped up. It seemed like you jumped up over, like, I don't know how many people made that interception.
I mean, they ran it the first time, came back. I didn't get it the first time. Came back to me. I guess it was trying me. So I just had to get it and make the best out of it.
Man, he made some acrobatic moves, and he almost scored a touchdown. And I was on the other end of the field, and all I saw hands going up in the air, coming down with the ball. And I was like, okay, this happens. Wait a minute. And he just took off sprinting. I think they got you about the 15-yard line. So, yeah. Y'all have any questions?
Yeah, Khalil, did your dad tell you about his old war stories? That he's better than you? When he plays. Don't lie to me now.
Me and him, we go at it all the time, man. Just pops though, man. You know how I go.
Let's see. What was LaDondrick to you? Your uncle, cousin? Him and your dad was cousins, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he was man. That whole team they had was good. Yeah. I bet he tells you some war stories, don't he?
Yeah, he tried to show me some film.
Hey, they were good though.
They were good.
They were really good.
I was teaching them there when he played, so yeah, they were good.
Hey, but moving forward, man, I mean, you guys, obviously, Fort Payne's another game you guys are looking forward to, but man, you guys seem to be just in a lot better shape than y'all was 2 years ago. Like when Ali took over, I remember the city doubted you, even the people in the home school doubted you, but it seems like he's got y'all put together, man, and y'all are all like one voice, one heartbeat moving forward. Yeah. Just talk about how this team's grown. I mean, since you guys just got back from Etowah, I mean, like, so when y'all left and when y'all came back, it probably looks totally different, correct?
Yes, sir. He just preaches to change the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like just even when somebody mess up, you got it, man. You good? Just get back up. We gotta all be one.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Khalil said, just trying to change the culture and just trust what we're doing and trust the process. And you gotta buy into it. You can't listen to outside the gate. You gotta listen to what's within with us. And that's what we do.
Yeah, I'll say you just coming in, being one, and everybody having each other back. And that'll solve everything if we have each other back.
Ain't no doubt about that.
From an offensive standpoint, what was it like? What was it like with the relationship with you and Luke and all the other receivers? With you guys being able to move the ball like you were able to?
We work hard at practice, man. Those the guys. Bust our tail in the sun all the time, August is real high in August, so you know what I'm saying? Everything we just waiting on everything to pay off.
Defensively, the shutout for you guys and a great Etowah team. What was it like around the sidelines for you guys with the defense?
It was just fun for real, just shutting them out. It's just a good feeling to have 0 on the board.
I see you smile.
Yeah. I see you smile.
That's the first time I smile the whole interview.
I mean, it's always fun sending people out, and this defense is just fun. Like how we can run different schemes and everything, and it's fun when all the guys just flying to the ball. When one guy makes a play, we feel like the whole team made the play. It's just cool.
How much trash talking was going on?
I'm telling you, man, you should have saw this man's eyes. I think I got a picture of him in the coin toss. He had fire in his eyes. But something else I noticed Friday night too was the support in the stands and the student section. Tell me about how that makes you guys feel, knowing that you got Gadsden came out and supported you guys, packed the stands out, and your student section probably the loudest I've seen that student section
name or something.
Yeah, the Storm.
The Storm.
Yeah, that's probably the loudest I've seen that student section in a long time. How did that make you guys feel, throughout the game, knowing everybody had your back, the city had your back?
Well, it's a great atmosphere for real, and just being out there in the middle of it while everybody watching you, and you doing big plays and stuff. So you just gotta put on for them.
Yeah, like Tay said, great atmosphere, and then we feed off their energy and they feed off ours, and then with that combined, some amazing things can happen right there.
Back to what he said, we feed off that. Feel like they being loud. We gotta make a play.
That's right. Well, I'm gonna tell you before we wrap this up. I challenged the student section before I left Friday night. I said, not looking ahead, but Hoover comes to town in a couple of weeks. I told them that whole section, that bleachers, need to be filled with Gadsden City students, and they need to be loud. So
I heard a rumor about the student sections combining. You heard that?
Yeah.
Southside they're going over Southside's student section Thursday, and Southside's coming to support Gadsden City's Friday.
Wow, so they're going to.
That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true.
I can see that happen. That'd be good.
That's what I heard. We'll see. But hey, good luck you guys moving forward. I know you guys are in the right place, and Coach Ali Smith can put that Roach rat spray down there. He's going around there saying we're gonna get rid of all the roaches. I think he's got them all out now.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
All right.